Hey, rise and shine, everyone. It is 6:01 here on this Wednesday morning. Friday vibes in here because I know you're off tomorrow and it's a holiday.
A lot of people are going to be hitting the road today. So we're going to check in with Audrey. Cece's tracking best times to leave in a little bit. But first, all eyes really on that forecast, John.
I know, it's kind of a bummer for tomorrow. We know it's going to rain. Got to time it out. Not everybody's getting to wash out. 64 degrees right now. A great Wednesday. Hard to beat a day like today. Finally, some summer vibes, right? Talking about the vibes, how about today finally being in the 80s with some sunshine? Most of the days are in the middle 70s. 61 to 64. It is a very comfortable start. Radar, nothing really going on. We've completely cleared out. But like I said, the west winds will be out there. That's more important for golfers and boaters, especially when you're out on the boat. A 10 to 15 mile per hour wind. It's fairly breezy on the lake at around 85 degrees, but a very, very solid day today. We're going to be talking about the fireworks, of course. I got waves of rain coming in for your 4th of July in a bit here. Cece.
There, good morning. Happy Wednesday here. Live look here, not too far from Hudson on 94. Things moving smoothly on those parts. If you're looking here, if you're coming from Hudson into St. Paul, should take you about 15 minutes to get there, so not too bad. I do want to keep this on your radar, though, if you're traveling east on 94. Lane closed between Highway 120 and then 694, 494 area in the Maplewood, Woodbury area. So that starts at 7 o'clock, so just under an hour. So if you're headed east, just know you may have to take some detours later on in the morning. Jason.
Appreciate that heads up, Cece. Thank you. Turning to our top story here at 6 a.m., as John mentioned, rain unfortunately on the way for your 4th of July.
On top of that, a lot of cities are dealing with ongoing flooding right now. Michelle Beck's joining us live from Stillwater, tracking the status of several 4th of July celebrations. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, good morning to you, Jason, Alicia. Stillwater here has canceled its fireworks show tomorrow. And with one look at the park here, it's easy to understand why. Let's focus in on that yellow sign that says 9 feet 6 inches. All that's supposed to be air below. All that's supposed to be a pathway below. And yet there's water just brimming to the top there. And despite the water receding, all this flooding has made the park unusable. And yet there's even more rain in the forecast. And looking around the metro, in Excelsior, the rain has pushed fireworks up to tonight at dusk. Organizers there explained the weather is making it impossible to host a show on the 4th, 5th, or even 6th. Things are still uncertain for the city of Minneapolis, and it'll stay that way until the last minute. The highly anticipated Red, White, and Boom is supposed to return after a 5-year hiatus, but now staff say they'll be watching the weather all day and night tomorrow to see if they have to pull the plug. And a little bit of good news, there is beautiful weather right now as we speak. Hopefully we can see it in the days to come. The mayor of Stillwater, he does say the 4th of July fireworks event could get rescheduled, but you have to wait until the end of August for that. Coming up in 30 minutes, we'll hear from the mayor about the ongoing concerns till then. Guys, back to you.
Definitely disappointing. That area is usually filled with boats, people wanting to see the fireworks. Thousands of people usually attend. All right, Michelle Beck reporting live in Stillwater. Thank you. As flooding recedes in a lot of areas, we're getting a closer look at the damage left behind. In Waterville, surveyors say more than 100 structures and counting have been impacted. They expect that number to grow as some families are still waiting to go home. Others are starting the process of completely gutting their homes.
Everything's rotten. It smells bad, and we got all the smelly carpet out, but the mold's growing. It's still, you smell like a fish in here, or even worse.
Oh, such a bummer. The county has set up a debris removal site due to environmental concerns. The flooding there now 2 feet higher than the record, which was set back in 1965. With more rain on the way, homeowners are holding on to their sandbags just in case they needed to use them again. Down in Shakopee, where we showed you that flooding in Valley Fair, the city has now confirmed that the water levels have beat those from 1993. While the river remains high this morning, it is receding. So a little good news there. A lot of you will be hitting the road here in the next 36 hours or so.
It's going to be pretty busy. In fact, today is expected to be the busiest day for anyone driving over the holiday weekend. Audrey is live in St. Paul at a holiday here on this holiday, and she has how to beat the rush and breaking down how much your road trip is going to cost you. Audrey.
Yeah, Jason and Alicia, well, first and foremost, traffic's really picked up here at this holiday in St. Paul. We got a lot of people who are back here who are filling up. And when it comes to the gas prices, let's give you a little bit of a snapshot of exactly what you can expect. The average, according to AAA, who just released new numbers within the last 2 hours or so, according to AAA, the average gas price for a gallon of regular in the metro is about $3.40. Here at this gas station, it's $3.49, so it's maybe a little bit more expensive than the average for the Twin Cities. But when you look at the average for the entire state, it's $3.32. So context clues being what they are, what that tells you is that the further away from the Twin Cities you go, the less you'll pay. So if you're headed up north, it may be good to hold off on filling up your gas tank. Now, if you're filling up an absolute babe magnet like our news van, it's got 20-gallon tank. Well, that'll cost you between $66 and $70 to fill up in totality. So you want to make sure that you're making your money work for you. So if you can hold off, it might be a good idea. Now, when do you leave? Well, let me tell you, according to traffic analytics company INRIX, they're estimating that the best time to leave is actually before 2 or after 7. So if you can avoid that 2 to 7 window, that's when you'll probably be best to avoid some of that hectic traffic on the roadway. They also say that the busiest travel day, Jason, Alicia, as you said, is today, July 3rd, and Sunday, July 7th. So those 2 days, and in that window of time, that's when you can expect a lot more folks on the road. So when it comes to ways to save money, well, I've got a little bit more on that coming up in the next 30 minutes. But for now, Cece, I'll toss it to you, because baby, you're a firework.
I love it. Katy Perry. Gotta love it. Happy 4th, everyone. Okay, so if you're headed towards the Elk River area, Zimmerman area, you're headed out of the metro this morning. Once you get into that Elk River area, a stretch of 169 is head-to-head traffic while they do this major construction project that's not going to wrap up until the fall. So if you're headed that way on 169, you could experience some slowdowns in that area. Of course, too, 35, you're headed up to the Duluth area. You're going to see some 35 in both directions going down to one lane. So that's slowdowns. Also, if you're headed down to the Rochester area during this holiday, Highway 52, once you hit the Cannon Falls, Hampton area, that's also going down to one lane in some parts both ways. So of course, I always say leave early in the morning. That's the best time to leave because you may experience some slowdowns once you leave later in the afternoon. Alicia.
Be patient this afternoon if you're going to be on the road like I am. I'm bringing coffee, good tunes, you know.
Nice podcast.
Right. Well, today's also one of the busy peak travel days if you're going to the airport. MSP officials are reminding travelers to get to the airport at least 2 hours before your flight. Right now, they're only reporting about 15 cancellations and 1 delay. Parking's filling up at Terminal 2. It's at around 66% full, and the security wait times are now over 25 minutes at both terminals.
This morning, we are tracking a high-stakes meeting in Washington today led by Governor Walz, and it could have a huge impact on the 2024 election. In a matter of hours, he and a group of Democratic governors and congressional leaders will meet with President Joe Biden at the White House. They are set to discuss concerns over his performance at the debate last week. In the last 48 hours, they decided to quickly schedule the meeting during a governor's-only call. Now, this news comes as Texas Representative Lloyd Doggett becomes the first sitting Democrat in Congress to publicly call for Biden to step aside. Developing in the last 15 hours, former President Trump's sentencing in the hush money conviction has been postponed. He was set to be sentenced next week, but the judge is now delaying it until September. The decision comes in the wake of the Supreme Court's ruling that he has immunity for some of his conduct as president. Trump's team is expected to use that extra time to argue for a new trial.
In less than 24 hours, more than 300 park employees in Minneapolis will walk off the job and strike. That includes maintenance workers and arborists, just over a third of Minneapolis Park's staff. After months of contract negotiations, pay is the biggest sticking point. The workers say they're paid less than employees in surrounding suburbs. The park board offered a 10% raise, split over 3 years, but the groups weren't able to reach an agreement. The strike is expected to last at least a week, and the city does not expect any closures during that time.